Hey everyone, welcome back to a Fireside Chat. We're finally back in our living room, and I'm so glad I'm so glad I have you with me.
Yeah, I'm glad to be back. Thanks for allowing me a couple weeks to take off, take care of some things.
Yeah, and so we're back here. I'm not flying solo, and tonight we're answering the question that some people have asked us about, and I think it's appropriate to answer this question. It's Father's Day week, and so we get to talk about some parent stuff. And the question is.
How did we get Rochelle, our daughter? Yeah. But first of all, I think there's a question that we need to answer. It's a little lighter, kind of fun.
Okay.
What are all the ways that you and I are different?
There's not time for this video.
It might be easier if we just say we have nothing in common.
I'm an introvert.
I'm an extrovert.
Yeah.
I throw my clothes next to the laundry bin.
I put my clothes in the laundry bin.
Right.
We
both squeeze the toothpaste from the middle of the tube.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
You know.
Yeah, those are. I love TV. You're not a huge fan.
I don't love TV. I read a lot of fiction.
I read only nonfiction.
Right.
I love sports.
I'm okay with sports.
Yeah. So, but it's working.
It is. I mean, 20 years in, I think we're gonna make it.
Almost 21, babe.
I know.
Next month is 21 years.
That's a long time.
Next month, our marriage can drink.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, so the question is, how did we get Rochelle? And for those of you who don't know, Rochelle is our oldest daughter, newest to the family in chronological order. She's third in chronological order of being in our family, but the oldest kid. And she came into our family when she was 17.
Yeah, why don't you tell me a little bit about how you met her? So
at that time in my life, I was a youth pastor, and I got a message on Facebook from a kid who was an acquaintance of another kid who was in my youth group, and it ended up being Rochelle. And the question simply was, who was God? And so I wrote back a thoughtful response. I didn't know who this teenager was, but I just thought, let me give her a response. What I didn't know is there was all kinds of stuff going on in her life. She wrote me that when she was at the home of her boyfriend, right after the funeral of her boyfriend's sister, who was also a really good friend of hers, had just committed suicide. So this was a really low point, and this was her kind of a last-ditch effort. God, if you're out there, help me. And she was blown away that I responded, and that turned into a Facebook conversation. And I always, whenever I was doing Facebook conversation with girls, I always brought you in quickly, and so you quickly came in to the picture.
I did. Let me back up just a little bit. We had decided after Jack was born that we did not want to have any more children biologically. At least I didn't. Fact I don't typically hide is I don't love being pregnant. I like babies. I like them. I loved mine. But it's not something I wanted to do again. So we thought that we knew that we wanted more kids and that adoption was something that we were really interested in doing. However, we always thought that we would have adopted a baby from another country or something a little different. So this opportunity presented itself.
We were going to be like Angelina Jolie and just have like an international crew rolling with us.
I was not going to go there.
Okay.
Not Angelina.
Sorry.
Anyway, So it was at a time when we were accepting and open to God's leading on how our family would grow.
We had just purchased our first house. We kind of felt stable, overestimated our own wisdom at that time in life.
Right. It was a 3-bedroom house, this little house.
So anyway, she started coming to high school small group Bible study at our house, started to hang out with us, and we began to learn her story, and our heart really grew for this girl.
It did. It did. I would pick her up from school and bring her over, and she would just hang out at my house, and she would just like sit at the counter quietly while I made things like cupcakes. And soon enough, I mean, we really got to know her. We got to know a little bit about her story. And we're sharing all this information with Rochelle's permission. However, I will leave some of the details out of it.
For sure.
But anyway, had a really horrific experience in foster care. And
15 years in foster care.
15 years in the same home.
And all in the same home.
No.
Always wanted a mom.
Always wanted a mom.
Always wanted a family.
She also had a couple biological brothers that were grown, older than her.
That's right.
So anyway, we decided that we would just start to befriend this girl. Adoption wasn't on the plate.
It was on the radar, but we didn't see that as an option here. I thought I was just being a really good youth pastor. You were being a really good youth pastor's wife. right?
Yeah.
That's all we were doing.
That's what we were doing.
Yeah.
Right. But it became really clear the more that we heard, the more we knew that we had the ability to help.
We could be a family to her.
Yeah, we could be a family to her. So we went through all of the training and became certified foster parents, which is funny because, you know, the standard is the same for anybody who's a foster parent and what you have to include, even if your intention is only to foster the one.
Rules are rules.
Rules are rules. So that meant we had to put a fence around our fireplace at home, you know, which was just a couple feet high.
Even though Rochelle could step over
Even
it.
though she could step over it and then place her hand on the hot wood stove. So it was kind of funny getting our house ready to...
If you've ever gone through the process of being foster certified, I would love to see more people in our church do this.
Yeah.
But it's have a sense of humor about it.
It is. You have to be funny.
Yeah, that's right. So anyway, one of the things that we discovered was that every kid in the foster care system in California, that's where we were, has a lawyer. And if a kid wants to leave their foster home and join another foster home, they have the power as long as the new foster home says, yeah, we'll take them.
Yeah.
So one day she called up her lawyer and said, I want to move in with this family. And she came and became a part of our family.
She did. And it was glorious for 2 weeks until we got a call. And then we ended up taking on a 3 or 4 month old baby.
We took on there was a drug raid at a meth house. We ended up getting a 3-month-old baby. And so in 2 weeks, we went from 2 kids and 1 dog
Right.
to 4 kids and 2 dogs.
2 dogs. And the age of kids ranged from like 4 months old to 17.
Yeah.
And a 3-bedroom house.
We got all kinds of looks when we walked through town.
It was hilarious.
At dinner time was like a birthday party every night.
Yeah.
It was wild. It was raucous.
Yeah. Now, listen, I mean, this story ends really well. In fact, we're in great relationship with her. We have 2 grandsons from her and her
How
husband.
long ago was that? This was like almost 10 years ago.
Years ago.
She's now married, 2 boys, and
Right.
awesome relationship. Can't wait for them to come out here and
Yeah.
for many of you to meet them.
Oh my gosh. They're so great. But it was hard. It was a really tough journey. I think any parent who's done foster care can tell you that, yeah, it has really great moments. It also has some really hard moments, not just for us, but really hard moments for Rochelle too, as she kind of got used to being in our family and we really didn't know what we were doing.
People sometimes say, oh, you're such a good person. No, not a good person. Naive person. Just naive. That's it. Glad I did it.
Yeah.
But had I known all we were getting into, I would have chickened out. Not a good person, just a naive person.
Right. And I think God used our naivety
Yes.
to help Rochelle turn into the amazing adult that she is now. So
Now we see her, great wife,
oh my gosh.
loving mom,
She is like the best mom.
raising 2 full-time boys.
Full-time boys.
Our grandsons, they should be the subject of like one of those family comedy movies,
Right.
you know, because they are wild and they are awesome.
But they're so cool. And they're sweet and loving.
Yeah.
They love their mama.
They call me Captain.
Oh, I'm Mimi. Actually, they call me Commodore Mimi.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is
They
great.
can't pronounce Commodore.
Well,
They say Captain. They can't even say the full name, Captain.
it's Commodore Mimi.
Yeah. But like any good grandpa, I love to take them to McDonald's and give them chicken nuggets or whatever they want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And snuggle.
Yeah.
And hunt for worms.
Yeah.
We do a lot of outside playtime. So
Yeah.
anyway, that's our story. I hope you enjoyed hearing it. If those of you who are in the middle of foster care, we just want to encourage you. The road is hard, but the end is so worth it. So worth it. I don't think this is the end of our foster care story. I think there's more to come.
Can I just say that even for the stories that, okay, so our story went like this, right?
Yeah.
We went down here and really hurtful stuff. Not all stories really climb out of that.
They don't.
Even if you don't hear, thank you. Even if you don't hear, you saved my life. Even if you don't ever hear, I just want you to know how much I appreciate for all. Even if you never hear that, it's good. And the investment that you give and the love that you give, it is good and it is worthwhile because you are loving in the same way that Jesus loved you. That's a win. And I hope that fills your cells and I hope that encourages you. We don't always get to hear the thank you, but I want you to know it's worthwhile.
It absolutely is.
So that's a little bit of our story.
Yeah.
And you left a little teaser there. Our foster care stuff may not be over.
May not be over.
We've decided to wait to engage again until our kids move out.
Yeah. Till they're grown a little more.
Grown-ish.
Grown-ish. And we make sure that they get what they need before we jump in. So
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. So, guys, thanks for listening to our story. Thanks for joining us in our home this week. And
Have a great week.
Have a great week. We'll see you next time.
Bye.